There's SEO for social media. There's SEO for local based businesses who are trying to drive traffic into their doors. Like they have like a physical location. So there's local SEO, there's YouTube SEO, there's like so many different kinds. So just saying SEO in general is, I think, a little bit broad. Like if they know what avenue or like what types of customers that they want to be servicing, then that would be able to narrow down the type of SEO that they learn. What AI can do is they can give you words, right? And they can give you ideas. They can give you phrases. They cannot replace a human being. You can't replace an authentic, living, breathing human being with an AI. It doesn't, like, even with the AI content, it just doesn't feel the same.
Welcome to Marketing Stuff. I'm so excited for today's show. We have another fantastic guest. I cannot wait for you to get an opportunity to hear what she has to say about SEO. Thank you for joining me today. If you're returning, welcome back. I love seeing my family come back on the show. I appreciate your continued support. We are here to help you up-level your marketing game in a way that you don't feel like you're drowning. So if this is your first time coming to the show, thank you for joining. Come on in. The water is fine. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get all the notifications for the new episodes. But that's enough about that stuff. Let's dive in. The guest today, she is an outstanding website designer, SEO specialist, and she works with small business owners to help them revamp their websites to get more traffic and make more sales. Welcome to Marketing Stuff, Connie. Thank you for joining.
Oh, Maurice, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a guest on your show and to talk and teach everybody on your audience about SEO and marketing in general. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So I just want to share a little bit before we get started. Connie and I met through TikTok.
Doesn't everybody?
And I don't even remember. Yeah, apparently nowadays, I don't remember exactly.
I do. I do.
You do?
Okay. It was such a long time ago, and I was showing people how to work Canva and stuff like that. And I had posted a post on how I did a graffiti font on Canva. And you're like, what is that? Where did that graffiti font come from? And I replied to you in like a video message. And then ever since then, like we've been connected. So like if I saw your stuff, I would interact with your stuff, or I would like comment on your stuff. But it started off with you like commenting on one of my posts. And
I do remember the graffiti post. I do. That's so wild. That's so wild how that stuff happens. And then you end up, developing long-term relationships with folks. But
I love it.
The thing that I noticed that you do really well was the SEO component. And so we want to get into that a little bit. But before we dive into like the meat and potatoes, can you help us out and just give a brief description of like what SEO is and why is it important?
Gotcha, for sure. Well, SEO is search engine optimization. So basically, you're optimizing the content that you put out online, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You're optimizing that content so that it can be found by a search engine. And every platform that you put your content on, if it has a little search icon, it's definitely a search engine. And so they have different algorithms based on how your content shows up. And SEO is basically utilizing your words, right? Keywords, specific keywords for your content to be found. SEO is basically just optimizing your content, whether that's written words, your photos, your videos, and just making it as easy as possible for the search engines to pick up your content. Because we have to do our content for humans and for the computers as well, because computers will read the search engine optimization stuff, and then your customers are typing things in a certain way. So there's a very fine balance between just straight up SEO content and content made with SEO in mind for your audience. There's a fine line.
Yeah. Why should businesses and marketers care about this SEO stuff?
Okay, of course. So the reason why search engine optimization is important is because it's an avenue for you to market yourself organically, right? So I teach my clients how to get customers, clients, and all of that organically without having to spend money on ads. That's usually sometimes really expensive. If you can tap into how your audience is searching for specific products or services, then you can optimize your content so that you can be found as a better result for that search query. So it reduces the cost of you actually going out and paying for an ad to get those customers. And it builds like relationships and it establishes trust because you're already organically showing up in the topic that they're searching for. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it makes
that.
you
Absolutely.
it makes you the go-to expert, basically.
Absolutely. I'll also add to that and say one of the things, I don't do a ton of SEO anymore, but one of the things that it does is it changes your perspective of how you approach your marketing and your content.
It does. Right? But now that you are in marketing, something that like a lot of people, like 99% of the people who I work with don't even know that they're able to optimize photos, right? So if you're doing a Google search on something, for me, I don't always go to whatever is listed right there. If I'm looking for a pink sundress or something like that, I'm going to type in pink sundress and I'm going to flip over to the images and I'm going to see what pops up right there. And what's going to pop up there are people who are selling a pink sundress, right? But how does Google know to show me a pink sundress if those photos weren't optimized for that keyword? Do you know what I'm saying? So, and then once you put it out there, it lives out on the internet space forever. And by doing a really good job with your SEO one time, like you're building trust, but you're also building longevity. Like I have clients that I've helped them with their SEO, and we're talking like 10, 11, 12 years ago, and their photos are still showing up for search terms that we had optimized for like way back then. And they still get calls and they don't even have a business like that anymore. So optimizing your photos is one thing that people just really don't think about that makes a huge, huge, huge difference, especially for the bots that are doing the indexing of the content. It's very small overlooked thing.
And I think as we continue to see, and we'll talk more about AI here in a bit, but I think as we continue to see AI kind of like really drive these algorithms, we're going to see more and more AIs being able to like pick up all types of stuff in images. So your images are going to become more and more important as SEO drives. But when you were saying like most people don't know how to optimize an image, how do I learn SEO without going to school or buying expensive courses? Like if I want to get into this, but I don't have the bread to drop on taking these classes, how do I do that?
Follow my page, like literally follow me on TikTok because I drop so many gems for free on how to optimize your website. I'm teaching people how to bulk edit their photos. I'm showing them how to do keyword research. I'm showing them how to optimize their like e-commerce stores if they have an e-commerce brand. So if you're trying to learn for free and you want bite-sized tidbits of information, come and follow my page because that's literally all I teach. And if you're feeling brave, you can also go to YouTube and do a deep dive down the rabbit hole of YouTube. But again, like, I don't know. The easiest way would be to get somebody who knows how to do it to give you like a quick one-on-one of your business and give you keywords and strategies specifically for your business. And that's going to cut down the learning time by so much. Even if you don't have the money for a course, a one-on-one is inexpensive and invaluable because it's recorded and you get to go back and watch it. And it's specifically tailored to your business.
Yeah. I've had several people in my audience ask me specifically about getting into SEO. And I'll add on to that by saying like, watching is great, but you really got to do. And so whether or not you have a client to work with, there are two things that I would say. Number one, make a website. Like, even if it's not doing anything, just make one for the sake of your learning. You can even blog about learning SEO, right? I don't care what the website is about, but you need a place where you can go and practice the things you're learning right after you learn it.
There's different types of SEO. You know what I'm saying? There's SEO for social media. There's SEO for local based businesses who are trying to drive traffic into their doors. Like they have like a physical location. So there's local SEO. There's YouTube SEO. There's like so many different kinds. So just saying SEO in general is, I think, a little bit broad. Like if they know what avenue or like what types of customers that they want to be servicing, then that would be able to narrow down the type of SEO that they learn.
And I would say most of the folks that are watching this or listening to this probably don't know yet, because they still need to just get in and figure out the like basic stuff.
The easiest way to get some quick wins for SEO would be for them to like, if they wanted to get some practice, start in your city, right? So whatever city you're in, find a service-based business in your city. And then you rank that business for whatever that service is, plus that location, and you'll see some quick wins because like it's super targeted.
That kind of goes into the second thing is like, if you're trying to get into this from a business perspective, do it yourself, right? Especially in the beginning. But if you're trying to get into this because you're new to marketing, find a service-based business, find a local business, and just like do it for them, right? And you know, expect nothing in the beginning because you know nothing.
That's exactly how I got started. That's literally exactly how I got started. I had my first. Can I tell the story? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had been in website development for quite a few years, right? My kids were in the entertainment industry. And so I had to learn how to do websites to get them gigs, you know, to be auditioning and stuff like that. So a friend of mine from high school, she was teaching at this hula studio in Hawaii. And she told me that they were really struggling with their business. They were getting ready to shut down their doors because they didn't have enough clients. I said, before you shut your doors, like, give me 3 months. Like, I've been taking classes. I've been learning all of this stuff. Like, you know, let me try to work with you on your marketing and see if we can, if I can help. And if I can't help within the 3 months, and, you know, go ahead and do what you guys got to do, but let me at least try. Right. So she's like, okay, sure. No problem. And so they let me revamp their website and, I revamped all of their photos. I did everything like that. So since she was a hula studio and her hula studio was located in Ewa Beach in Hawaii, which is a specific city, I optimized her website for the very first keyword, which would be hula lessons in Ewa Beach, right? So service plus location. And immediately she's number one for her location. She's showing up number one on Google. And that was just one keyword, right? So I'm like, okay, good. We're like showing up number one for keywords. What's the next one that we can do? And then the next one that we can do, and the next one that we can do. And before we know it, like she was literally dominating all of Google in Hawaii for anything related to hula lessons, Tahitian lessons, hiring hula dancers, which is of course more expensive service that she can offer. She could charge more, you know? So she's getting clients back to back to back. Her phone is ringing off the hook. She's getting email requests like nonstop for, oh, how much is it for you guys to do hula at my baby shower or at my wedding or something like that. And it got to the point where she was so overwhelmed and she had so many calls coming in that she told me, she's like, Connie, I need you to turn off the internet. I said, I cannot turn off the internet. Like I can't do, like, once it's out there, once it's out there, it's out there. But like it literally changed the whole trajectory and course of her business. She ended up opening like 3 more locations in Hawaii. So she went from almost closing her doors to opening more locations because she couldn't keep up with the demand. She ended up being found in Japan. So she opened up a Japan location. She was found from all different types of TV producers and stuff like that, just by Googling things that I thought they might Google, right? So like just some like hire hula dancers in Hawaii, right? So I thought if some production company comes, they don't know anything about Hawaii, they might type in hire hula dancers, right? So I got them ranking for that. And at one point, they were literally number one for hula in the entire state of Hawaii. And they were a younger hula studio. Like there were other people who had been in the game longer and they were dominating literally for every single keyword.
So the question that I have, because you're talking about this timeline, right, of the story of how you helped this business. I'm assuming it was within the 3-month period, but if I'm doing this SEO stuff, how long does it take for me to start seeing some wins from doing SEO on like a new website?
Right. So it can take anywhere from a couple of weeks to like 3 months even. I mean, that's that's a long estimate. But if you do things like the right way and you get your stuff submitted to Google Search Console, which is basically your direct connection between you and Google, it's not uncommon for you to start seeing wins, like especially on an e-commerce store. It's not uncommon for you to start seeing sales coming in from Google probably within that first week or 2 weeks. There's not a clear-cut, cookie-cutter answer for that because it all depends on how your customers are searching. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But I think the thing to kind of drive home whether or not you can get in a week or 2 weeks is also, like, don't expect results tomorrow.
It also depends on like what type of platform you're on, right? So when I'm trying to like optimize content, for example, like on TikTok, I can see wins like almost immediately because there's not as much competition over there, right? Google has to go through and index basically and catalog millions and millions and millions of websites and pages and products. So it might take a little bit longer, you know, but you got to be proactive with letting Google know, hey, I've made changes to my website. Here's a new URL that you haven't taken a look at yet. And then give their little bots or whatever time to go and index that. And then once they index it, that process could take, 3 to 5 days or whatever. But after they index it, then you start to show up pretty frequently for that specific keyword, that search phrase, whatever it is that you optimized that particular page for. But yeah, it's not a magic bullet. It doesn't happen like tomorrow. And it also is something that you have to really be consistent at. You can't just do it one time and think that you're good because there's always going to be new keyword phrases that you want to rank for. There's always going to be new search terms that you're noticing that your customers are searching. So it's like an ongoing process. But the more you do it, the more it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? You start with one and then you get to be ranking for the next one and then the next one and the next one. And before you know it, you're out in Google and you're ranking really high for really competitive keywords because you stayed consistent.
Yeah. So I love that you said that it's a consistent thing and that you have to keep up with it. And as small business owners and marketers, like sometimes we just got so much stuff going on, right? And so like recently we've seen the like mass adoption and I say mass, right? Like in our little TikTok bubble, mass adoption of AI, right? And it's been around for a while, but with Chat GPT dropping and it being free to access and in a way that makes sense, right? Like I will say this, their interface through the chat is so much simpler than many other AI tools prior to it.
Yes, I agree.
So let's talk a little bit about how has AI and Chat GPT changed SEO?
Oh my gosh. These AI writing tools are literally insane. For somebody who struggles with writing, like I struggle with writing, I'm not going to lie, I put it out there before. I struggle with my writing. I know what I want to say, but I don't always have the right words to put it in. You know what I'm saying? So using an AI tool, if I give them like the case use of what I want, right? Like if I'm looking for a product bio or a product description or something like that, even an SEO meta description, all I have to do is drop in like my main keyword and the AI tool basically goes out into the internet and pulls from different samples of things that they're finding on the website and rewrites it in a way that sounds authentic to human. You know what I'm saying? I use AI writing tools literally every single day in my business. It makes it super easy. Like if I know there's a specific keyword that I want and I put that keyword in there, it's going to rewrite a product description or it's going to rewrite everything. And it has that keyword in it. It's amazing. I love these tools. I mean, it makes my job as a website developer, and I do SEO copywriting as part of my revamps and stuff that I do with people. Like I'm doing the SEO copywriting to make sure that they're showing up in their titles are the right way, that they're showing up online and their meta description looks good. And having something like that has the keywords already in it, it just makes it that much stronger, But I don't like Chat GPT because I can never get on. Like they're always booked. Like I try to go and they're like, oh, it's not accessible right now or whatever.
You just got to keep trying. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Chat GPT. I will say this, that it has its own bugs, right? You really do have to go in there and learn how it works Because the thing that, getting a little more into AI than what most people may want to, but the thing that we have to realize is that each AI is built off a framework, right? And so you could put the same prompt into 5 different AIs, and you're going to get 5 different responses.
Exactly. But some I feel are better than others. Some will give you better results than others, right?
Absolutely.
And I have tried all of them. I've tried Copy AI, I've tried Jasper AI, I've tried Writer.me, I've tried Writer, I've tried Chat GPT as well. And when I can get into Chat GPT, it's great. Because I use it to like kind of come up with ideas for even like my own TikTok content and stuff like that. So I do like it when I can get into it.
That is the challenge. And the thing is, like, more, since ChatGPT is an open AI source, it's actually being utilized to build other AI writers, right? So we also have to realize that it's not just pulling from when you and I go into ChatGPT, it's also pulling from these paid sources that are building AI writers. So they're always going to get primary for their APIs. So it's interesting, because this is something that I think is really key here, is that tools like ChatGPT have made it easier for, especially like written content, to be produced at scale. And so now the question is, how do you combat the Google machine, let's just say that Google machine, saying that I don't like AI content?
See, what AI can do is they can give you words, right? And they can give you ideas. They can give you phrases. They cannot replace a human being. You can't replace an authentic, living, breathing human being with an AI. It doesn't, like, even with the AI content, it just doesn't feel the same. So they can try to mimic humanity, but they are really just giving us words, really. They're helping us think, but really, are they going to be able to come up online and do a video or do a podcast like you're doing? Are they going to be able to talk? No, they're not going to be able to.
Soon, maybe.
What personality are they going to be like programming into these AI bots? Like, I don't see it. I know that Google does not like AI content, and they will penalize your website if they find out that if it doesn't feel authentic. You know what I mean? If it doesn't feel like it's your brand voice, if it doesn't feel like it's coming from you, you can take what's being given to you in the AI, and I always rewrite it a little bit to just like fit my brand voice, to fit the product description, to like make it fit what it is that I'm trying to do. Like, I don't just copy and paste everything that the AI spits off at me, because then that will seem ingenuine. AI is taking over a lot. I mean, they've got like boba machines, and like a robot will make your boba.
Listen, I find that it is amazing. Like, AI me up, right? But to your point of, you have to go in with the standpoint of, this is not the end. This is the beginning. I don't remember who it was, but a famous copywriter basically said the hardest part is the blank
page. I stare sometimes at that blank page thinking like, how do I start it? And you know, like I had an English teacher a long, long time ago in high school, and I'll never forget it. They're like, when you're writing something, you know how we start our thing with a hook, right? Like we start our videos with a hook. So basically he was telling me to surprise the audience from the very first sentence. So like an example would be like, I'm 17 and I'm dying, right? And you're like automatically you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? But it's the hook, right? So using the AI tools to come up with a hook, but you still have to put your personality behind it, and you still have to like make it fit for your audience. You can't depend on an AI to do your whole job for you, because you still are a living, thinking, breathing being. And God downloads ideas into humans, not into robots. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can sit there and program a robot all day long, but it's not going to be able to replace what a human can do. In my opinion.
I'll say yet.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if you're a copywriter and you're a subpar copywriter, your job is coming to an end. It's coming to an end.
But like, I'm talking about like the other types of things, like strategy, right? We're talking about marketing. We're talking about AI. They can give you SEO keywords. They can write your product descriptions or something like that. But then what do you do with that information once you have it, right? Then you need to be able to strategize how I'm going to be able to use this piece of content. Am I going to be able to repurpose it to make a video? Can I use this in a blog post? Right. Can I do a podcast or something like that? So, I feel like that's where we come in, right? We have to take what we're given from the AI, and we have to use that and turn it into something great for our marketing. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
That's how I'm using AI. I still haven't figured out the AI post, like the content, where they like make posts and stuff like that for you. I tried one and I didn't really like the stuff that it came up.
Yeah, I've tried them too. Same thing. I was like, this is not.
There's something to be said about the AI, providing quality writing for you for SEO, but there's also value in authentic creativity. You know what I mean? You can use that as a help, like I said, as a guide to find your hooks or whatever, but it's ultimately going to be your responsibility to sell whatever it is you're trying to sell. And that comes from being authentic with your audience. And that comes from being, really smart or really knowledgeable in what you're trying to talk about and actually making a human connection. Because I feel like that's where it's missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People listening to this are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to be real with you. One of the things and reasons why most small business owners struggle with how to sell their stuff is because you don't do enough research.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Which is one of the things that I like about SEO. Because it forces you to learn how to do the research, because you can't do anything without it. No,
you cannot. Right? And it really does force you to think outside of yourself. Like, take yourself out of the equation and put yourself in your customer's position. Like, in my genre of expertise, like, I know that there's keywords that I would be using or phrases that I would be using, but then I have to put myself in my customer's position of somebody who has never heard about SEO, doesn't even know what SEO is. The problem that they would be having would be, how do I get found on Google, right? That would be like a phrasing that they might be using instead of,
how do I get people to my website?
What is SEO, right? So you have to put yourself in that customer's perspective so that you can come up with the best possible keywords. And then doing some research, right? Answer the public, going to Quora or Reddit or something like that, and scouring what people are already asking. It helps you formulate questions that you can be answering, content that you can be creating. Yeah. You have to do the research. Oh my gosh, it's so like that. It takes me so much to just learn about one product. I have to go and I have to research what's happening on Shein and Amazon and all of those things and compare them to what this person is doing. See how they're marketing. Like, what do their websites look like? What are they highlighting? And last year during Christmas time, I was on it. Like, I was predicting what I would go and see on these people's pages. And then I would go, and then sure enough, the same colors would be represented over and over and over again. So I'm taking that information back to my clients. I'm like, look, this is what they're doing. If you want to stay competitive, do this.
Yes. And that is the one thing I will say. When I first started in marketing, I didn't really get the research piece, right? It was like, oh, this is just, I was bad.
You know what? Nobody, if you don't know what you don't know, right? It starts off really basic, especially if we're talking SEO, right? SEO keyword research for a local based business, super, super easy, right? Service plus location, and that's your keyword. You know what I mean? Not a whole lot of brain power when it comes to that first keyword. But then you have to start thinking about okay, so if I'm a plumber, right? What are the types of plumbing issues that people are going to have? And anytime you've got that near me search, that somebody's looking for a solution, immediately close to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's where optimization comes in with your maps and your photos, especially. People don't know that. They don't know that when you put that little geotag inside of your photo, if somebody's searching on their phone for a product or a service and you happen to be anywhere within a 50-mile radius of them, Google shows your stuff to them first over a big box company.
Absolutely. As we're kind of wrapping up here, if the listener could only take away one thing from today's show, what would that one thing be?
Oh my God, there's so many. Just put me on the spot, why don't you? SEO is really important. Make sure that whatever you want to be known for, that you make it known right away when they come to your website. So whether that's if you're talking about them coming to your social media profiles, make sure that whatever you want to be known for is in your bio, right?
Yes, I appreciate that. Making sure that whatever it is you want to be known for is prevalent on your website. So if you're trying to get connected with Connie, check her out on her website. I will put the information in the show notes so that you have that available, or find her on TikTok, Connie the Google Queen, so you can check out all her tips and the information that she's providing. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to click right below in the description. If you're watching on whatever podcast platform, her information will be there so that you can get it. Connie, thank you so much for joining me on the Marketing Stuff podcast. We appreciate you and coming over here, dropping some nuggets on the crew.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Maurice.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of Marketing Stuff. We hope that you enjoyed the nuggets that we're sharing. Make sure that you subscribe to the show so that you can get access to the rest of the nuggets that we're sharing all the time, getting great people like Connie in here to share their point of view and perspectives on this marketing stuff in a way that you don't have to feel like you're overwhelmed and drowning. But outside of all that, stay out here winning, yo.